to episode 21. That's right. This is the 21st consecutive week of Directly to You, the podcast. As always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play.
A whole bunch of stuff. Podbean.
Yeah.
Cast something. A whole bunch of stuff with podcast, different variations
right,
of
with
those two
things
words.
with podcast in the name. Yeah, as always, back once again. But what's been up, bro? How's your week been? What you been getting into?
I've been dipping in and out of a lot of different games. We can't talk about everything that we got sent.
Yeah, naturally.
We got sent some stuff.
Right.
I'm playing that.
Right.
What can I talk about that we got sent? Oh, I got a code for PewDiePie's game. Animal something squad. It's ass. That's the joke. That's the joke. It's called ass.
Oh wow. I thought you were talking about quality for a second.
No. That's what the game's called.
Yeah, it's funny.
But no. So it's like a trial. You know, like the trials games, like the motorcycle, like obstacle course, like games.
Yeah.
It's like that combined with a platformer.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
if
pretty
nothing
interesting. I didn't get too deep into that because the other stuff that I can't talk about that I'm playing.
Right.
A game that I got that I can talk about. I'm pretty sure I can talk about it. It's out now. Matter of fact, let me double check that.
All right.
So you talk about what you're playing, because you can talk about what you were playing.
Yeah. Well, the one game I was playing that we got sent is the Fallen Legion, which is it's fine. I'm still like digging into it. Yeah, it's all right. Not my full thoughts on that game are coming. Again,
are you still going to do a review on it, or you just want to talk about that on a podcast?
I'll do a review on it. And then the other game I can't talk about. I've been getting into like I said, more Breath. I was just playing Breath of the Wild like a lot more. But Splatoon 2, of course. Just stuff like that. Finally getting good. I've been killing people with the bucket on I've been doing freaking. Do you use that whenever you play?
Slosher. Sometimes I use the slosher.
Yeah,
I dip in and out of using that.
Yeah, it's like a shotgun. Crazy.
The major thing that I'm having with Splatoon is I'll go in and out of I want to use it's always there's multiple weapons that I feel comfortable with, but there's parts of those weapons that I don't like in combination with each other. I still have yet to find a combination of weapons that I can use. I can do fine with pretty much anything that I pick, because I can rely on one aspect of that thing that I like, but it's never that I feel comfortable with the weapon and the sub weapon and the special equally.
Right.
It's always some
it's
type of sacrifice.
One of those things is going to be lacking in that area. I like the. Go ahead.
Well, we can keep talking about.
Yes, I was gonna say I like the special a lot. Like when you concealing that ball, I'm like, yeah, I'm safe and I can freaking blow you guys up, whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to play Splatoon with us, we have our switch codes in the description below, as always, in every single video we put out, so you guys can freaking send us requests. As you know, we get a lot of those.
You can add Splatoon, you go into our Discord and type @Splatoon 2, and then anybody that has Splatoon 2 and tag themselves with that, I don't know what it's called, the role. Yeah, it's a role. Anybody that has that role will be notified, so you can be like, yo, anybody with Splatoon 2, you want to play some Splatoon 2, and then anybody wants to play Splatoon 2, there you go.
So there you go. Just what better immersion than playing with the people that you watch and YouTubers and stuff like that. You just come hang out with us and be.
Yeah, you can play with one person that's good at Splatoon and then another guy that plays it.
Yeah, so
you figure out who's who.
This guy here. This man.
The other game, the game that I wasn't sure if I could talk about, is called Punch Club. It's pretty dope. It's like it's a tycoon, like tycoon games where it's like you build blah blah. It's a tycoon boxing game.
That's freaking dope. And
yeah, unique. It was like when I got that kill, I was like, that sounds interesting, especially since I'm watching Megalobox, which that could potentially.
Yeah. Okay. I see. I see. Okay. You're getting up. You're getting up on the good anime. I like it.
Yeah, that could potentially become relevant to the audience for one reason or the other, but we'll find out.
What got you into? I guess we can like kind of go off. And what got you into wanting to check that one out in particular? Cause you're not
Megalobox?
Yeah, Megalobox. Yeah,
the same thing that usually gets me to check out anime. A lot of people talking about it. I like the art style. It reminds me of Cowboy Bebop.
That's what exactly I was gonna say when you said you like the art style. That definitely gives me that feel, that that aesthetic. It's freaking great.
Yeah, I like the vibe of the show too. I like the hip hop roots.
Oh my god, that's nothing. The music in that anime, oh my god, is so good. I know we talk a lot about soundtracks on this podcast. People like to ask our opinions about different music and stuff like that.
People specifically like to ask you.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to include you too because it's both of us. But yeah, they
Yeah, but I just mean like obviously there's things that people specifically ask me about, and there's things that people like that's your thing more so than it's mine. Yeah. I'm more so like I don't really have much of an opinion on soundtracks generally,
right.
Unless
you say unless it's bad. It's like you pointed out.
Yeah, it's like a good soundtrack to me is like good special effects, where it's like you a lot of times good special effects you don't even know that they're special effects. They're just a thing that happened and they look good, so it didn't look like it was fake and like fabricated or whatever.
Yeah, but that's one thing I noticed too. Like, I was like that's crazy. Sounds so good.
Yeah, so I was playing that Punch Club because partially because like I was watching Megalobox and then I saw that key in my email and I was like, okay, well I have to play this. Like I have to play it now because I'm watching Megalobox and that's about boxing.
This goes together
in the ranks. Yeah, it's like he's coming up in the ranks and stuff like that. Yeah. He has to get through the tournament or whatever, or get into it, I guess. And then that's kind of the same thing that you start out with, and it's like you have different goals as you go throughout the thing. Like the first goal or whatever that I'm going through right now is that I have to get in the top 10 of the ranks or whatever of the tournament, or the league. So I'm doing that, and it's like I'm trying to think of like the game that has combat like this, but it's like a RPG, like a turn-based RPG sort of deal, where and I mean the whole thing is kind of like RPG-ish because it's a tycoon game. Like it's not an action game. It's not like you're not pressing X to punch.
Right.
You pick what types of attacks / abilities you want to use in this boxing match, and then that'll determine how you do. And as you level up, you're able to equip more of those abilities, and then it'll cycle through those abilities depending on like what your class, I guess you would call it, is. So like you start out with a balance class where it's like you cycle between two. You start out with the balance class and then 2 slots for the abilities that you pick.
Okay.
And the balance class basically means that it doesn't prioritize one type of ability over another. Whereas you can have an aggressive class where it's like it'll prioritize punching over another, or there's more specialized things where it's like it'll prioritize high punches or low punches or kicks or whatever the case may be. But starting out, you only have 2 slots, so it's like you might want to put one thing for defending yourself, whether that be a dodge or a block, and then a punch, or like as you level up more, a high punch and a dodge and then a kick.
Okay.
And then it'll do stuff. It's kind of like Chow's, like the fighting game, right. And the Chow's thing where it's like you're not directly controlling them, but you are controlling them in a sense where it's like, okay, I want you to do this, or like you had to time out when you cheer for them or whatever,
right.
And that encourages them to do the good thing, whether it be to dodge or punch them in the face or run faster or whatever the case may be. It's kind of like that.
That's dope. Like as you I guess level or progress rather, you add different attributes and different things. That's cool. Like different variety, I guess, to like their pool of things. That's dope. Very fascinating.
Yeah, it's a cool game. Yeah. It's pretty cheap too. I think it's like $15. Let me double check.
That's sweet. Yeah, so if you guys want to freaking check that out. That sounds freaking great. Again, that I'm thinking about picking up. This is like just gaming in general, something that we even though it's not Nintendo at all. I was thinking about getting that Detroit game today. Thinking about picking that up because I've seen some good reviews on that. I'm like, oh, okay, might have to give my PS4 some love because I haven't played that like in a long time. So it's like I might just have to, I know.
Did you get? Do you have God of War?
No, but I played it. Though.
I'm surprised that's not the game that you want to buy.
Yeah.
But it's $15. So yeah, that's how much Punch Club is.
Sounds
yeah,
sweet.
I'm not. Detroit's not really my thing, but it's not. This isn't the podcast for that.
Yeah.
So yeah. If you guys want us to talk about general gaming stuff, we might have something for that in the future.
Yeah. I know. It's shocking that like they're like, oh, you play other things other than Nintendo, but
you know what a PlayStation 4 is.
Right. It's like when you hear like people freak out over celebrities. You eat McDonald's too, that type of thing.
It's like young me in like second grade when I saw my teacher at a store at like Walmart or some crap like that. Right. And I'm like, you're allowed outside of school? Like, what's going on here?
Right, exactly. Yeah, so that's freaking sweet. I guess we can get into the first topic here. I don't have really a segue into this here, which is like pretty. It's been pretty usual as these last couple of episodes. We're getting stale. We're getting stale with the segues. We're getting stale with segues. We gotta have some guests on, and that way it spark the segue juices. Anyway, first topic or rather second after the intro. Does cloud gaming have a future on Nintendo Switch?
So have you heard about the Resident Evil 7 thing?
Yeah.
Immediately there were all negative reactions.
Of course.
This thing. Which, I mean, after the fact, now that people have played it, I think they're more so warranted now. But people were upset just by the prospect of this. And I think that the prospect of it, like in a perfect world, this is the perfect solution to really laziness from a lot of publishers, or apprehension from a lot of publishers where they're like, oh, we don't want to put the work to like optimize this game for this platform.
Right.
So we're going to put it on super high powered computers and a cloud and play the game like that. Which in a lot of ways is a win-win if you have decent internet, because then in theory, you can get significantly more capable games, like visually and mechanically, even possibly, if you're running it like that, because you don't have to run it off of the hardware of the Switch. You can be playing handheld mode and you're playing like this crazy visually impressive game. Obviously, it still can't be like 1080p or whatever because it's on a 720p screen. But the fact still remains that it could be more impressive running it off the cloud than it could be running off the Switch's internal systems and whatnot. It's chips.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense, and you're saving a lot of it just makes a lot, because you're saving yourself a lot, like you said, a lot of the hardware power and all that. It's not requiring too much in order to do this. So yeah, definitely has a future. I feel like just. And
then there's the end of the people that are like a huge defense, or not defense, offense of this thing, I guess, is that it's like, oh, Switch is supposed to be this portable thing or whatever, which is I think that's kind of weird, where it's like, we don't say that about like the type of games. Like, there's certain games that you don't want to play on the go, and they still, like, you would still want them to come to Switch, or
exactly,
like online play in general.
Right.
Like the fact that Splatoon is largely an online only game. I mean, obviously it has a single player campaign, but most people don't play that all the way through. That game shouldn't be on Switch now because you can't do that handheld, or a lot of people can't. Some people have tethering. I have tethering. But again, I mean, even with that in mind, like tethering, I could even do that.
I think that's
cloud gaming.
That's a dumb argument, because it's like the Switch is both. It's both.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's not a thing where it's like just because one game isn't the most like advantageous for like the portable mode. It's still a home console as well. Like, you know, even if I get a game,
I think a lot of it is because people get so hung up on how they see a thing that's how everybody should see the thing. Like how so many people are like with Nintendo, they're like, just do the handheld version of the Switch or whatever, because I don't care about detachable controllers. I don't care about the console version. I mean, the console aspect of it. I care about the handheld aspect of it. So let me just have that. I think that like that misses the whole point of what a console is, you know, like it's not building a PC. You don't get to pick piecemeal like, I want this aspect of it, I like this, I like that. That's not how it works.
Right, exactly. And like back to your point again, when you said there are certain games you'd rather play on like a perfect example for me, Xenoverse 2, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey. Like, these are games that like that. Like, I just preferred to play them on, you know, on the television, and that there's nothing wrong with that. And that's the thing. So yeah, even like you said, even though there are like, even though it's like, you know,
and I mean, there's times where you'll want to play them handheld.
Right, exactly,
you know?
exactly. But
like,
the fact is, we have both those options, and having an experience exclusive to the television, I don't see a problem with that. You know, and it's cool that we even have that option to like to you know, there are moments where it's okay to have an exclusive experience on the television, because Switch can do that too. You know,
because it's not like who really is going to say, okay, I'm going to rent effectively Resident Evil 7, and that's the only game I have on this console. So when I go somewhere with it, I just don't have a game to play.
Exactly.
I can't play Resident Evil 7 on the go, so I guess I can't play anything.
Exactly. Does that somehow lessen the value of the Switch because you can't play one game in portable mode because you're drawing from the cloud? Absolutely not. That's ridiculous. So, you know, what kind of what people? It's just like I don't get it. That's weird.
It's just this weird. Like there's a lot of weird things about the general populace's opinion on certain things, where it's just like, if they think worst case scenario, if a thing that they don't like becomes popular, that'll hurt the thing that I do like, or the idea. Like they assume that if Resident Evil 7 blows up and that does well and everybody likes it, that all game developers are just going to go with that. Whereas, I mean, that would be stupid for their bottom line. They wouldn't do that. Why would they do that if they can just make the full-on game for $60? I think that the higher possibility for this technology is the people that wouldn't have put the game on Switch anyway.
Right.
Those are the people that are going to like the CD Projekt Reds and the, you know, like the at times Bethesda's, even though I think that they're more so willing to put the work in to optimize it for the platform. But, you know, like the companies that are like really hard on like, okay, well, we want to put this game on the most powerful PCs, and by virtue of that, Xbox One,
PS4,
and PlayStation 4 and Xbox One X and all that crap. We don't want to sacrifice our vision. You know, you don't have to do that with the cloud gaming, ideally. So you can do it through that. It's like either you get it through cloud gaming or you won't get it at all. Not that Nintendo now is going to be like, well, we're not going to develop a native game for Switch ever again. It's always going to be cloud based.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, the traditional, you know, like that's not going anywhere as far as this is concerned. It's not going to replace every other avenue of the way we consume and, you know, get our games. So it's like there's nothing to worry about. But that's a ridiculous argument. Just because one experience is exclusive to one part of the Switch, all of a sudden people are like, oh, it's supposed to be portable, blah blah blah. No, it's supposed to be both, and it is. So
and on the subject of that, there's like talk of like they're like, oh, Overwatch again. I mean, this came up again. It always comes up where Blizzard's like, well, we don't know, you know, like we have no plans for Overwatch on Switch or mobile because we're focused on our platforms that were like the SKUs that we currently support, so on and so forth. And then there's people like I've seen people literally say, good, Switch doesn't need every game, which I think is a stupid thing to say, because imagine if somebody said that about Xbox One. Right. It's like, oh, good, Xbox One doesn't need every game. Or even PlayStation 4. Good, PlayStation 4 doesn't need every game. That's stupid. That's dumb. Like, why not?
Yeah, why limit the console? You know, if anything, you should want to have all these different options and places of like different games to play. Just why limit it to?
Maybe you don't want to play a lessened version of whatever the game is, like on a technical level, for the sake of portability.
Right.
But there sure as hell are people that would.
Right. There are,
and I know I'm one of them.
There are numerous people. Yes, exactly. Us included, who would love to play certain types of games. Now, obviously, we could just as easily be like, you know, I'll just get this on Xbox One, or in my case, PS4. But at the same time, it's like you'd rather play it on the Switch. So it's why not have these games?
Yeah, like
right.
There's very few games at this point that I'd be like, I'm not going to get this on Switch if given the option.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like we were saying before, the Switch gives us more options because it's like, well, I can't be at home right now for whatever reason. So, and I still have the opportunity to play games for whatever reason.
Well, yeah, or just leisurely. It just better to have that, like that, just leisurely. You know, I'm gonna just play this like portable. You know, I'm just like be off in the corner, even at my house or whatever. You know, and I just
want to lay upside down on my couch,
right,
with the Switch in my hand and playing it like that.
Right,
can't do that with an Xbox or PlayStation 4.
It's just good, like even like when you're editing a video and it's rendering or something like that. You just put the Switch up, and then, you know, it's just a easy, like, you know, it just feels good to do. So yeah, that's
because everything is less of an ordeal,
right?
You
exactly.
Know, like, even if it was this experience of like, okay, I'm going to play the PlayStation 4 for a couple seconds and then put it to sleep. It's not just a sleep button that you like. It's not that easy on PlayStation 4, whereas it is that easy on Switch. Where it's like, all right, I'm done playing this for the next 10 minutes when I do this next edit thing or whatever the case may be. It's just more convenient.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope they do figure out Overwatch on there. If they don't, I just won't be playing it, you know?
Right, exactly. Because, I mean, I like Overwatch, but at the same time, I'm not pressed. And I feel like you're the same way. Yeah. It's like, you know, it's like, but if it comes to the Switch, I'm like, okay, I'll be happy to grab it. Just like it was
it's like if it's on Switch, I'll mess with it.
Right,
you know, I'll play it a little bit here and there. But other than that, it's like,
it'll be the whole Call of Duty thing we had before, like for the Wii U.
A game has to be at this point. A game has to be very special for me to care enough to play it off of my Switch, and that, I mean, that's not a fanboy thing. That's just the form factor. Mm-hmm. If they come out with a PlayStation 4 that's a Switch, I'm all for it. You know, like put it on whatever at that point. If every console is a hybrid, put it on everything. I don't even care. But as far as like the form factor is like, that's king for me. I don't really care about the logo on the piece of plastic.
Exactly.
It's just the form factor. And I mean, even for like what I prefer now, you know, like even then it was form factor. I prefer Xbox One now because I prefer the controller and the online experience. But that's all.
Speaking about experience, everybody wants to experience a new Fire Emblem for the Switch. Now, this week I made a video where I detailed Fire Emblem for the Switch again for the second time. This was the second time I actually ever repeated Fire Emblem on our channel. What'd you think about the repeat of Fire Emblem on this week?
I think it needed to be done, but I think the timer was kind of wrong on that.
Yeah.
I agree with you the first time. A lot of people didn't.
Right.
I mean, that video gained traction the first time. There's people. It's funny because it's like you can see how different people's opinions are based on like what subsect of the internet you hit. Because this one, it was more so like, obviously a lot more casual Fire Emblem fans watched this. On the last video, it was like, no, like it's almost like people were like against the thing that you were saying, and the opposite side. Like it's like you move more toward the hardcore Fire Emblem fans' perspective on this video, and the casual fans were like, no, like, you know, like,
right.
I went the more casual stuff, you know. It's like that sort of thing. I think that's weird. I don't have a strong opinion either way on Fire Emblem. I think Fire Emblem's cool. I'd be down for either. You know, if they double down on casual, cool. If they double down on a hardcore, cool. I don't really care that much. Like I'm gonna play it, you know, but I don't. I just
Naturally.
don't have a strong opinion of like I want Fire Emblem to be like this.
Right,
'Cause
right,
I've
right,
played 2-3 Fire Emblem games.
Yeah.
So it's like I haven't gotten to the point where like I have
You don't have
hopes
enough
and dreams.
right.
For
you don't
this.
you don't have enough stake in
And-
it
Right.
yet at this point.
It's like because for me with a lot of things where it's like I want this to change. I mean that's always been like the premise for a video where it's like I want this to change either because it's stale or because I think they can go further or because they like you know like stuff like that or the same but add blank you know like because I have some type of like you said stake in it where it's like I want this to be like this because of the games that I played before where I was like, man, I wish that was like that. You know,
Right,
I've never really experienced that where I'm playing Fire Emblem and I'm like, if only it did blank.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Like there's certain just series that you're like passionate about. You're like, you know, I want, you know, because you have spent so much time with it. You know, like man, they really need to do this. They really need to do this, and that's where the real freaking inspirational, long-winded type of opinions come from, and the passion, even recording it, you know, like they should, you know, when you really feel it, like no, this is, blah, 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 you freaking go off with them. Yeah, so that's great.
Do you have any further thoughts on it after seeing the comments? And well, we'll get on to the comments,
Right.
obviously.
No, not anything in particular. I just like how, I mean, like you said, it hit a different subsect, different you know, group of people. So it wasn't like a immediate backlash or not even a back, like just like you know, this like what are you talking about? And it didn't like that way.
That
It
was the
didn't
last
draw.
video. The last video was like you're just such a casual. You know,
Exactly. So it didn't draw on the pool that I wanted, but you know, it's
you wanted you're such a casual.
right. But it's done better than you know some of the other videos, but still it's definitely you know shorter reach than what I wanted. So we're gonna hit him next week with a stronger hit. But I'm getting into some of these comments here now that since you brought it up, see what you guys have to say. And thank you guys for commenting, by the way. It's always appreciated, the engagement, all that. I think Squad
Except for you, Jack. You suck.
Squando
I'll never
comments.
read your comments, Jack. I hope there's somebody named Jack. I was like, hey.
Squando starts us off here by saying, here's my pitch to Nintendo. The main antagonist is a swordsman who realizes he is too violent in his ways and becomes aware of the monster growing within him. Okay, all right. Unlucky for him, a new threat drags him deeper into his internal rabbit hole, forcing him to come to terms with his destructive power, and ultimately he must choose a path. The player must either choose an evil ending or a pacifist ending. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I played a Fire Emblem game before, but I sure as hell would play this one.
This man wants for Roni Kenshin Fire Emblem.
Right. That'd be a pretty neat idea. Giving player the
Given Fates, like Fates isn't exactly that,
Right.
but it is basically the end result of that, where it's like you got to choose: do you want to be a bad guy or a good guy? Even though Fates kind of tries to make it seem like the bad guys are still kind of good,
Right.
but they're like, come on.
Yeah, I think that'll work well as long as it's not like the illusion of choice, like we have with like say a Mass Effect or something like that, where it's like, okay, you have these choices, but at the end it doesn't really matter anyways. You know, have it be something that's like give it more of a grand or something that actually like, okay, I did this and my character died. Like, you know, make the endings like so freaking like varied. But
And I mean, they could do that in Fire Emblem,
Yeah.
where it's like, I mean, it would suck if you really don't know what you're doing, but on the end of like the, you know, like marriage and having kids and stuff like that, like that's an easy out for them to be like, all right, your character's just dead,
Right, exactly.
and that doesn't mean the game's over, but your kid has to take over. You know, it's
Yeah.
like a roguelike type of situation where it's like you just continuously are like starting over from another perspective, and whether that be that you gain something from that past like life or whatever, because it's like, oh well, now I have this experience or whatever, this is a not like this is a beeline for another type of game, but like in like Game Dev Tycoon, where you start another save file,
Yeah.
you still have the insight of like, oh well, I developed an action game before, so I know that action games work well with this prioritized and these features and et cetera, so on and so forth. It's like if you start another thing with Fire Emblem, it's like, oh well, I already have proficiency with this weapon or whatever. Like I start out being able to use silver swords or whatever the heck, or I'm faster or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
or I level up faster, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that'd be cool. I think it could work out well. And like you said, it's a more in depth like kind of system with like fates. You know, they kind of like teased at this a little bit before, but nothing on this level. But I think that'll work out well. So a great comment there. I appreciate it. The next one we got is the Triple J Zoo, which is a freaking awesome name, by the way. I don't know, I just like that. They say, I agree with some of your points, but you forgot about something very big in Fire Emblem. Waifu wars. If Fate's heroes and warriors taught me anything, is that people have a hatred for my waifu, Camellia. Oh, she's awesome. She's awesome, by the way. I believe they would expand upon the relationship system in Fire Emblem, maybe incorporate children units in the story like they did in Awakening. Also, some of the stuff you recommended were issues that were fixed in Fates, i.e. simplistic story. Oh, and P.S. I'm sorry, older Fire Emblem fans, but get used to the waifus. No matter how much you hate Camellia, Fates is the highest selling Fire Emblem game so far, so expect the waifus in the Switch game. PPS. If Camilla or another Fire Emblem waifu gets into Smash, I will die of laughter. Great video. I like the speculation vids you guys like to do on this channel. Keep up the great work. First of all, yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I don't see why people, you know, have such an issue with the waifus as they say. I've seen that a lot in the comments. People are like, oh, get ready for the waifu wars, blah blah. People, you know, but
it's a culture,
right,
thing.
Right.
It's like in Japan, they're all about that stuff.
Yeah.
In America, it's like it's almost like for a lot of gamers now, like a lot of guy gamers, it's almost like they're trying to course correct beforehand, you know, like they almost get offended that this exists in there because they don't want people to think that they like it, you know.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't need you to show me boobs. I see boobs elsewhere. So it's like, I'm offended that you even tried. You know?
How dare you? How dare you? Yeah, that's freaking great. Yeah, it's you know, just let people have their thing.
Let people have boobs.
Let people have their boobs. Let people have their video game boobs, more specifically. Lucina is bae. Anyway, and she's in Smash, so yeah, it's good. Yeah, so let me see. Yeah, that is true. Going back to what you said, Fates. Yeah, they did have they did have like a simplistic story. Yeah, the story is.
You're talking about the story.
Yeah. But we need grand. We need something that's just like freaking. Like people are gonna be like, oh my god! Like, even if you're not a fan of freaking Fire Emblem, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I heard this is a freaking drama that's like freaking epic, and I want to see what this game's about. And that's the hope, because we want
them to have their God of War 4 moment.
Right. We want more.
Like nobody cared about Kratos because he was a crappy character.
The more we want more people to get on board for Nintendo, and the better exclusives, you know, the faster that happen. I mean, even though people already love the Switch as it is,
and people are going to get Fire Emblem.
Right. But we're trying to expand. We're trying to expand that pool.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for the comment, and great comment, by the way. Next we have Broken Fiction. Broken Fiction. First of all, welcome back to the comment. I haven't seen Have you seen Broken Fiction?
I see Broken Fiction here. I've seen him comment on a few podcasts.
Okay, I was gonna say, I've seen him like scarcely over like little bits and pieces over here, but at the time he was like regular, boom, every single video that we put out. But welcome back, you know, to the content. He says, I want a new race. Okay, let me scroll up. I'm gonna cut this out because I freaking totally just freaking mess that up. Broken Fiction says, I want a new race, at least one, and of course more / new classes, relationships, weapons, and spells. I'm simple like that. Oh, and I like to emphasize like a special emphasis on storytelling for this one. This is one of Nintendo's franchises where I feel like the story really matters. Yeah, definitely. It's just one of those things where like they could really make it something special, and
Yeah, because I mean, you have the games like Mario, where it's like the story doesn't matter. That's not why you're here. Yoshi, obviously, story doesn't matter. It's not why you're here. And then you have your Metroids, your Fire Emblem, or I skipped a step even. Then you have your Star Foxes, where it's like kind of in the middle.
Thank you.
So where it's like the story, it had to come up.
Right.
The story kind of matters, and it's not as bad because you didn't bring it up. I did.
Right.
The story kind of matters, but it doesn't matter. Like this gameplay still, I would say, matters more.
Definitely.
And then you have your Fire Emblems, and granted, with Nintendo games, all of the games, the story matters less than the gameplay does. I would say maybe Fire Emblem teetering on the edge of the other side of that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the gameplay matters more. But as far as like the series where you want to take the story seriously and you want them to mean something and to be like industry leading, if Nintendo puts their focus there, is like the like the Fire Emblems, the Metroids, the Zeldas,
right.
So yeah, I could definitely see that being a big boon for this game, is if they really double down on story and make it this thing where it's like next year it's nominated for best story at all the game awards and stuff like that.
Right. Because like I said in the video, like I appreciate the aspect they wanted to incorporate the multiplayer in here, but if but it's, at the same time, it's like that's the stories where they could really push this thing, and people don't really like. Now don't swing, but people that's not like a huge. I'm not seeing a huge community like the multiplayer is freaking epic in this. We have the I'm sure people enjoy it, of course, but it's not. Right.
I mean,
right. It's not.
It's not really something I touched on when I play those games.
Right. But speaking of something that people touch on a lot as far as the multiplayer and just competitive natures in general, is Smash Brothers. And you made a great video this week comparing or rather building a bridge between two things that really aren't spoken about, not even spoken about in the same breath. And that is Smash Brothers and Fortnite, which was a crazy bridge to build. But I liked how.
I don't think it was. I think a lot of people thought that it was a crazy bridge, but that was because they're thinking in the sense of, is he trying to say make Smash Bros. A battle royale game? Like a lot of people made up their minds on what this video was in their head.
You said that in the very beginning of the video.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be the case.
I was like, he called it.
Because it's like, I mean, like there's so many people that either like cynically was like, oh well, he's just trying to ride the wave of SEO and stuff like that. I mean, there's times when I do that. Like the Bayonetta and the Pokemon video, that was SEO. Granted, I believe what I was saying, but what I said came of me being like, I wonder if I can use both of the SEO, like if I can combine these two and take advantage of the SEO. That was an experiment on that sense. It's not me trying to like shoehorn a topic
you're not swaying your opinion just for
I'm not just making something up for the sake of it. I thought of the idea of, I wonder if I can try to figure out a through line for these two things, and then I figured it out. With this, it wasn't even that. It was just me genuinely thinking about Thanos and his inclusion, and then the esports thing happened and all that stuff. Like there's a lot of through lines there where it's like Smash Bros. Could take advantage of stuff like that, because we already see, and I've made a video about Smash Brothers marketing. Like every time I talk about Smash Brothers, it's from the like viewpoint of their marketing, because to me that's the biggest advantage. It's the reason why Smash Brothers matters to Nintendo in the long run, because it's just a huge marketing tool. That's why developers fall over themselves to get their characters in that game, because that's how, like, Fire Emblem owes its existence to Smash Brothers.
Absolutely. Because a lot of us, a majority of us, didn't even know Fire Emblem was a thing until Smash, like Melee, and then the games thereafter, myself included. But I like how you brought up the competitive and you compared Fortnite and Smash in that way as well, talking about how Smash already has a competitive scene, how it can be taken advantage of in a way, and it could they could really use this and be more involved with that, more like heavily involved in that, and that was a good thing, and like cater to that. That was a nugget. I was like, wow. I was like, that's really good. I like how you brought that up.
Because that's the thing. Like, Smash Brothers is a decade plus old franchise, nearly two,
right,
at this point, right? And Fortnite has like that. There's going to be people that are millionaires, because
right?
of Fortnite.
Like,
I mean, there are people that are millionaires as far as streaming goes,
right? Ninja
but
and so on and so forth.
There's going to be competitive players that are millionaires because of
this.
Yeah,
and like you were saying, like these people, like these I like how you brought the numbers up as well, as you usually do. When you said that these guys are getting $100 million, millions of dollars for this, and
Epic Games is committing $100 million for this one game for the year. You know, and
that is crazy.
Insane.
That's nuts. That's like
if we.
Sorry, go ahead.
If we think about it in the context of sports, right? That's like that's one team. You know, like that's one team's income for the year. $100 million. This isn't like, and I mean, even beyond that, it's one mode in one game. Right? Like, imagine if they just decide like they're going to make more games and more of their games blow up like that, and there's other people, like, even if like every game that they come out with is diminishing returns after that, like another game's 50 million and the next game's 25 million and the next game is, you know, half of that, 12.5 or whatever. Like that's a crazy amount of money for this industry, because there's literally hundreds of thousands of games to come out every generation.
Yeah.
If every one of these, like all the competitive games, all commit money on the level of that, which again, not all of them are going to be able to, like it would like almost instantly outpace like professional sports.
Yeah, this right here, and I'm glad you brought this up. This would be like such a huge step for the industry, like, and it just would, if people took advantage and capitalized on this, and you know did that, get incentivized, like, you know, okay, we're getting behind this and to this degree and this extent, like as you said, not everybody has the means to do so, but for the people that do, if they all, you know, followed suit in the way Epic has done this, like, man, it'd be such a boom. It'd be ridiculous. It'd be ridiculous, and then it would incentivize people to like play the games more, and then you have, you know, it would just freaking implode upon itself.
I mean, you would definitely have like, I mean, there's a negative side of that where it's like there's going to be people that are playing it just because of that.
Right.
Like, I mean, and there's people that play Pokemon just to win tournaments. You know, like they don't train their Pokemon, they don't do any of that stuff.
Right.
They just figure out like, okay, this is the strategy for battling.
Right.
I'm going to pay some other kid to train my Pokemon or whatever the case may be. There's going to be those people, but on the other end, there's going to be people that like how they view YouTube, where it's like, man, I want to be PewDiePie one day.
Right.
You know, it's like people are going to look at those people that are playing these tournaments and like, man, I want to be Zero one day.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, like, not many people are doing that right now, because I mean, he's doing fine for himself, right? But he's not a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. And this is gonna like just change. It's gonna be a paradigm shift. It's gonna change everything. You know, if this actually is the thing that like that takes hold, it's over. You know, just forget about it, because it's going to change how competitive gaming is even done. You know, it's going to grow so much, and then the developers are gonna benefit as well. It's going to be, you know, I think, yeah, this is crazy, and crazy is some of the comments that were left on your video. And speaking,
yeah, I had to include this specific comment. So last week, we got a comment. We might have got a couple comments about how like they didn't like how negative we were being about the comments or whatever, or the comments they were picking specifically.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I mean, I explained this to them in the comments, where it's like, I don't want to just pick comments where it's like everybody's agreeing with us or whatever. Like I want to spotlight the comments where it's like people don't agree, because maybe you agree with the people that don't agree. You know? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know that. I can't control that. I don't want to try to control that. Those comments exist. I think they should be acknowledged too.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like a thing that's like negative. It's just like, you know. And no offense to anybody who genuinely like just likes and agrees with the content. We appreciate those kinds of comments as well. Just that it's good.
And that's why we also have those comments. But I don't want people to think that we're cherry picking comments that just agree with us,
right?
Because it makes us feel good or whatever. Like we don't. Like, that's not the only reason why we make this channel. We make the channel for the people that disagree too.
Yeah, we're always open to opening that floor discussion regardless of, as long as it's within the reason and it's not just like blurting out hate for no reason. If you actually have a thought that's like, other than you're stupid, you know,
right,
blah 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 blah. If it's actually thought out and you disagree, that's fine. Or you know, it doesn't have to always be an agreement. So,
speaking of well thought out comments, let's go into a comment that is not well thought at all.
Ja Retro Reviews. I'm officially unsubscribing. Screw Fortnite. It's not even on Switch.
So that was this comment I thought was funny, just on the end where it's like it just illustrates the thing of like you can't win.
Yeah.
Because your video was like, essentially on that level, like, screw Fortnite. It's not on Switch. We don't need it.
Right.
We could get something better, right?
Right.
And then there was viscera from that. It's like, we need Fortnite. I don't know what you're talking about. We should always have Fortnite. Blah, blah, blah. I want Fortnite. And then I make a video where it's like, I mean, not even saying that we need Fortnite. I didn't say anything about the quality of Fortnite. I never said that I like playing Fortnite because I don't. You know, like I don't play Fortnite. I play that game like 3 times. But that's not what the video is about. It's not about the gameplay of Fortnite. It's about the marketing of Fortnite. You know, it's about what they do outside of the game, not the game itself. Nowhere in there was like, I was like, did I say the mechanics are so balanced and the gunplay is great? I didn't talk about none of that. So
Exactly.
Like, there was so many and again, I mean, these people almost certainly did not watch this video. So it's like it's not on that end where it's like, oh, they disagreed with me. It was just the fact that they saw Fortnite in the title, they saw Thanos on the thumbnail, and were like, oh, I need to spew hate at this because it's the popular thing on the internet, so I need to hate it because that makes me cool and interesting.
Yeah, I think this guy's secretly or gal. I think they secretly like they like Fortnite and they're just like, I'm mad as I don't Switch. I'm gonna just like, I'm gonna just spew this. It's not even a thing where it's like we're not bashing Fortnite. We're not even like promoting it. It's like, oh, this is great, you know. So I don't see where this came from. It's completely,
and it's not like on a lot of other comments where we're trying to think like Smash Brothers doesn't need to be like Fortnite. Like I was saying, make Smash Brothers a battle royale game, which I specifically said in the video. That's not what the video is about. Also, you know, where it's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Smash Brothers already does a lot of stuff that Fortnite is doing and doing well, but it could do them better, and here's how. You know, like that's what it is. There's nothing in that video, with the exception of the brief mention of like, hey, maybe they do want to do a free mode. Like, that might be cool. That might be a smart thing to do. Yeah. And even that was like, I mean, they don't have to do that. I'm just saying it's a good tactic for Fortnite. It's working for them, so why not, you know? Why not try that?
Right.
Don't kill the $60 game, but, you know, give people a free version to get a taste or whatever. That was really the only judgment call where it's like, change this. And not necessarily change, add to this in a way that is not already being added to. But outside of that was just a lot of double down on what's already being done.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that I mean, if you want to unsubscribe for that, I mean, be our guest.
Please, please do.
Right.
I mean, and this is just like a general statement. If the reason why you're subscribed to us is because you agreed with us one time and that's why you're subscribed, you know, like you're like, I can agree with these people, I'm just going to save your trouble. Just unsubscribe.
Yeah,
now.
we're not
because that's not why we're making these videos.
Yeah, we're not always going to echo your thoughts. We're not always going to, you know, we're not a safe channel. You know, we're not always going to echo. You're not always going to agree, and that's just it's just
and it's not that we're not safe necessarily. It's just that we're not trying to pander to you. It's like we have opinions, and those opinions you may or may not agree with. I don't think the value in this channel is meant to be or should be to you that we're agreeable. It's just that we present opinion or like we're conversation starters. It's like we think about games in a way that you may not think about them, and like it's there to challenge your thinking. So I would say it almost is more valuable to you if you don't if you don't have like a fragile opinion or whatever. I would say it's almost more valuable to you if you don't agree, because then you have a conversation piece where it's like, because if you agree, it's I agree, you know. But if you agree with some points or whatever, it's like I agree with this, but then blah 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 blah. You know, it's like then you're going somewhere. But if it's just I agree,
yeah. If you're opening to having your beliefs challenged, but in a way that's like articulated it well, and not in a way like you don't feel hurt. You don't feel like, oh, this is my thing and I love it so much and how dare you, right?
Because that's not the intent either. We don't. There's. I mean, it's rare. Logan did it last week, kind of, but it's rare that we'll be like, I hate this so much and this is stupid and blah blah blah. Like a lot of times we're like, I don't like this and here's why. Or I like this and here's why. It's not just like visceral. It's not like us just trying to like be upset to be upset or happy to be happy.
Exactly. We're gonna give you our thoughts completely truthful. And if you don't like it when I'm subscribed, then go ahead. But on another comment from a person who hopefully won't unsubscribe. So I didn't even read it. All right. Christy Robinson. I really do like all the topics you brought up in this, especially the real-life sports to esports thing. I have no idea who the popular esports Smash players are. It would be cool to see Nintendo support them more so that so that way it can help esports. I agree. Like stream it on their YouTube page, have interviews with the people, and ask them basic questions in the locker room questions for athletes, mostly about how they found their love to play the game, their favorite player, etc. Have the Treehouse interview. Have the Treehouse interview them before and after the match. Ask them before the match, why do they main who they do? When did they first play Smash? What's their favorite item in the game? Fave stage, etc. So you can see their personality. LOL. This is long, but you get the idea. I don't personally like Fortnite, but I do think there are ways Nintendo can incorporate it into their business ideas.
Thank you, Christy, for that last part. like, because I'm in the same boat. I don't care about Fortnite, but I'm not insecure
right
in that, right? Where it's like I can't admit things that I dislike,
right?
Things that are great.
Right. I mean, even if you're not like to try to like bring an analogy to that or a comparison, it's like even if you're not a fan of like a certain like a book or something like that, you can still pull out a nugget, something that's like, overall I didn't like this, but I do like this part. And I think that's what you and Chris are getting at. It's like overall Fortnite is not it's not like we're not cheering and rooting for it, but that is a part I can appreciate, and that is completely reasonable. I don't see why the hate. Where's the love? I don't get that. So yeah. I think that'd be cool. Like, yeah, definitely support the people that are, because in some ways, they're keeping, even though the game is successful, but they're keeping them alive in a lot of ways, and these are, a community. This is a community that should have a light shined on them, even more so, because they put.
It's just like Breath of the Wild is the perfect example for why if it ain't broke, don't fix it as a stupid mentality.
Definitely.
So for people to be like, Smash is already working as is, that's dumb. Like, it's dumb because it's only going to work for but so long until it doesn't.
Yeah,
so why not try to stay current?
Right. It's
and adapt.
Right. Exactly. And that's not a bad thing, because if they keep doing the same thing for a decade, and people are gonna be like, okay, it's stagnant. You're gonna get tired of it. What? It's familiar. It follows that whole line of if it's not broke, don't fix it. And Smash Bros, we all can agree, it's far from broken. So if they keep that same.
Except for Bayonetta. Bayonetta is broken.
Right. It's like why? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like it's like why not? Aim for higher, and if it doesn't work out, we can always readjust and change sails, to fit the wind direction, as it were. So I don't get why.
Yeah, because it's easier to market, hey, we're going back to that thing that you like, than it is to market, we swear we're not boring this time.
Right.
Exactly. Like that's just the truth of it all. Like, it's so much easier to market nostalgia than it is to market from something new. But really, is it something new? It's like,
I've never seen a fan base in anything, in any time that got like let's say Nintendo, like, they go off and make Smash a little different as far as like incorporating these different things. I don't know any fan base for anything that's like that is offended when an artist or anything gets quote unquote back to their roots. So Smash going
usually that's better.
Right,
like, look at Crash
exactly.
Bandicoot, right? Like, not every Crash Bandicoot game, newsflash, is successful. Most of them were not. All of them suck. That's unrelated, but I just had, that's my brand. So all of them suck. But the fact that with the Insane trilogy, they're like back to our roots,
Exactly.
like we veered off course and we got even more sucky than we were originally. But this time we're back to the original suck, and everybody buys it.
Yeah. So either way, it'd be good for them. So I don't see, don't hate change, guys. Don't hate, when things can, it keeps things fresh and interesting. And there's a lot of series in Nintendo that can really go through that. Yeah, so, but we made videos on them. Check them out. Anyway, Francisco.
I never made a video about change. I hate change.
Right. Francisco Mojica. I like this concept. I don't know how confident they would be at implementing these changes to an old formula like Smash, but if being an old formula might be their fail-safe, you can't lose loyalists to video games no matter how different the marketing practices might be, unless you're EA. Ooh, EA gonna EA. Boom, 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 shots fired. Or back catalog references.
Trademark me.
Yeah, back catalog references. I think, it's. I as far as like losing like what you said, losing loyalists to video games, no matter how different marketing practices might be. I don't think. I
think IP like these are a revolving door. It's not like there's very few people that like there's the core audience or whatever, or the people that say like we're always here, like we've been with core Pokemon for forever and that's why we're the most important Pokemon fans, or like no, it's like the majority of Pokemon fans that are Pokemon fans right now are new Pokemon fans,
right?
So it's like same thing for Smash Brothers. Granted, I think that the revolving door effect is less so with Smash Brothers specifically, just because obviously it's not as old of an IP.
Yeah.
But I think that largely that's there because it's not like everybody that bought Brawl bought the Wii U version of Smash 4.
Exactly.
Where it's like they're not that dedicated. Where it's like we buy Smash Brothers regardless, and we're going to buy every single game, and that's why they need to make us happy.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that like Melee players refuse to play like any other game, that didn't hurt the sales of the next game. The next game still sold better than Melee did, and the next game after that still ultimately sold more than the game before that.
Yeah, exactly. So. Exactly. So it's like you're gonna have dedication to specific games, no matter what. So it's not that companies shouldn't be fearful, especially Nintendo. Like. And especially something like Smash as well. Like they shouldn't be
or going outside of games. Well, it's the Teen Titans that got the movie, the one that all the hardcore fans hate. Mm-hmm. It's like that's the one that's successful for them right now.
Right. Yeah, it's just
your perfect ideal vision of a game. The like you want it to stay the same but a little bit different. Gradually, like that's how they like money, like people like saying they just won't keep making the same thing but add this because they hate money. It's like, nah, I just don't think that you understand how to make money as well as a 128-year-old multi-billion-dollar company.
Right. Right. Yeah, and you just gotta accept these things, or at least be more open to to how things are done and how things operate, because we don't know the inner workings or the what goes on behind the scenes of these corporations. But getting to the Q&A for this week, and I wanted to just say Jesse Gibbons, we didn't have a time, I guess. We're trying to just
yeah, I don't want this podcast to be 2 hours. This is basically what I'm saying. Right. I mean, if you guys want the podcast to be 2 hours, let us know, and we'll make it 2 hours.
You're right. Yeah, so that's the only thing. We're not trying to.
But Jesse Gibbons, he's okay.
Right.
He gets it because we read his comments all the time. He's a resident,
regular fanatic. We appreciate it. On to the Q&A and / YouTube community tab section. If you guys if you guys want to join Discord, and all that stuff like we say every episode, or just leave your comments and we can read them in the community tab. But it is appreciated if you guys do go that extra mile and do that for us. But this week we have a few, and we're gonna just start off with Eddie Yeah, Eddie Studios. Do you think Nintendo are planning to release some Mario Odyssey DLC?
Yes. Next question.
Yeah, definitely. It'd just be freaking more content for Mario Odyssey. It's freaking one of the best games ever. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Kimishima, like, one of his last things, I mean, he's still technically CEO until I think June something, or July maybe.
Yeah.
But one of the last things that he said was that they really want to double down, and just with future titles in general, they want to double down on DLC because it prolongs the lifespan of the game without them having to, like, do the Assassin's Creed Call of Duty thing where it's like, new Mario game every year, new mainline Mario game, because we're going to get a new Mario game in one way or another every year. But like we're going to get Mario Odyssey 2 next year. Nah, it's just easier to put DLC in there. So I think that that's likely for it. And I think I wouldn't even be surprised to see more Breath of the Wild DLC.
Yeah,
honest.
Yeah, definitely. Hector Rodriguez says favorite Nintendo game. Whatever the latest Smash Bros. Is. Next question.
Pokemon. Pokemon Heart Gold.
Yeah, and then
I'm shocked you didn't say Star Fox, but yeah.
See, I love them, but it's just like favorite. I can't go that far. Now, if it was a franchise, then yes, definitely. Like overall,
which is weird. It's weird. Like you're not a Star Wars fan.
How so?
Because most of the Star Fox games that exist, you don't necessarily like. You're not like, man, Star Fox 64 is like my jam. You know, I could go back and play that game all the time. You know, or like with Star Fox and Adventure and Assault, you recognize like the qualms that a lot of people have with those games, but you still like them. You're not like, this game is like, I wouldn't like Pokemon Heart Gold is not a game that I'd be like, yeah, this game blah blah. Like like that's a game that I would stand by. You know, like maybe the older Pokemon, like Pokemon like Yellow, Red, and Blue. And it's like, yeah, they're crappy for this, and this. Right. You know, like they don't really stand the test of time for myriad reasons. But most Star Fox games, there's a whole bunch of caveats. I think you like the universe. And
right. It's more so the thing where it's like there's potential to be had there, and I like the series as a whole, and I feel like they could take it. No pun intended. But they take it like out of the atmosphere. They could take it out of the stratosphere and knock it out of the park and make the game that makes me go completely bananas over. I feel like it's a possibility. But yeah, I definitely agree. It's just until they make that game, until they make that ultimate. This is the perfect, like I said, like the perfect marriage of. Like the assaults and the adventures and the what people liked about 64, which I think Assault had that to a degree, but so they make something that's like
just make a game that feels like what the universe feels like. Like when they make the Star Fox Star Fox Begins or Battle Begins, that wasn't a rail shooter, like that's not like that wasn't how the animation worked, they're not always in the ship. Or they're not racing,
right?
So it's like you want a game that feels like that animation,
exactly. And when they make that, I'll be singing his praises and freaking doing backflips. But let me see. On to Justin Lantham. What third-party game do you want announced at E3 the most?
For Switch?
Yeah, I was gonna say this isn't too specific. I'm assuming Switch.
I'm not like.
They didn't really specify. I'm
assuming Switch because it's a Nintendo podcast. We're a Nintendo channel mostly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not huge on I don't really like even for the other systems that I have, like Xbox and soon to be PlayStation 4 when Spider-Man comes out. I buy them for first party games. So it's like third party games are more ancillary for me. It's like, I'll buy it here and there. There's third party games that I care about to an extent, like Overwatch. I would be down for like Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead or whatever, but there's not necessarily anything that's like I would lose my mind if this third party game came to Switch.
Yeah, most things I'm excited for are first party anyways. Like Red Dead be cool. Other than that, I mean, there's not like I said, not a lot.
Because when I think about it, there's no. I mean, I guess the third-party game that I'd be hyped, which I think is a foregone conclusion, so I think that it lessens hype a little bit. But like Dragon Ball Fighters, games that are already out more so than anything. That's like I would want on Switch. I would like for every game that they announced to come out for Switch. But there's no specific third-party game that I'd be hyped for, because there's no specific third-party game that could be announced for anything that I would necessarily be hyped for.
Yeah, I think unless they if they would have come out and okay, Kingdom Hearts is 3's coming on Switch, that would make me I'd be excited for that.
But that's another thing though. Like, it's a lot of games that already exist.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, true.
Like,
yeah. Like there's not I can point to like this is coming out and oh my god I want it on, you know, like, it's like I'm just like yeah, a lot of first parties are what really get me going.
Yeah, like I can't see myself making a video from like the perspective of I want a third party to make this game, because I don't care about third parties that much. So it's like I want the next Assassin's Creed. Like I want the next Assassin's Creed on Switch, and I want it to be like this, because I don't care about Assassin's Creed. So you'll probably never see that video from me. But you'll see a ton of first party stuff, and if we ever get to the point where we do expand to more console manufacturers, that's what you're going to see from me on that end too, where it's like I want this first party Sony game or Microsoft game or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, so TLDR, first party over thirds. But Ashley Machado, we got which is a regular. She always comments and it's a part of the community, and
she's a sponsor. You should sponsor. You should go to gaming.youtube.com/fanatixfour and sponsor.
Yeah, she brings up. She says, "I'm going to bring relevant news here. Yanni or Laurel rather."
And I picked this comment this week specifically so it wasn't relevant news.
Yeah, we
don't do relevant news here.
He just doesn't respect you. He held on it purposely. So that way.
You know what? Full transparency. We recorded this part, and Logan said your name wrong. So who doesn't respect who? You know. Okay. Now, are you a Yanni or are you a Laurel?
I'm a Laurel.
I heard both.
Oh,
I can hear both simultaneously.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because Yanni's a higher frequency, Laurel's a low frequency. So yeah, I can hear both.
I'm going deaf. So
yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it means. Yeah. It just means you're losing frequencies in your ear. Like, you ever hear a high pitched ringing in your noise, like just in your ear randomly, not from like you hearing a loud noise, but just randomly you hear a high pitched ring.
Yeah.
That means you lost that frequency in your ear, and you'll never hear it again. So that, I mean, you've heard more rings than me.
Yeah, I forget when they when they say like they have specific ages for that. Like they're like, oh, after you get past this certain point, you lose this frequency, to hear this.
I mean, it's more so like an average thing, you know. Where it's like on average.
Well, yeah, they can't specifically like
age can't hear frequencies beyond this point or whatever.
Like after you're 25, you lose everything. But yeah.
Oh my god! Like Bob can't hear Yanni either, but Bob makes more sense because he was is a drummer.
Yeah. All right, so on to the segment. This is the Discord. Okay, we have Kyrie, freaking freaking Kingdom Hearts. Anyway, apologies in advance for a long question. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. No, I'm joking. Regarding the Pokemon leaks. One, I'm mostly convinced that they're real, and two, I was initially very panicked looking at them more. It seems like it might actually be okay, and it doesn't seem like the connections to Pokemon Go would be too prohibitive if the gameplay, at least I hope. One thing I am worried about, however, is the camera based on the leak screenshot, which has more credibility in the wake of the new leaks. It seems like the game will use the upscaled Sun and Moon art style, which I'm not personally thrilled about, but I can accept. What is more worrying to me, personally, is the use of the fixed camera. Granted, there are a lot of games I haven't played, but going back to even the GameCube era, I can't remember playing any non-sport 3D games on the home console that didn't offer some degree of camera control. I feel like the lack of 3D control made X, Y, or Sun, Moon, and Ultra Sun and Moon feel somewhat more hand-holdy if you're being taken on a tour rather than an adventure where you can take in your surroundings. And I feel like people aren't talking about this enough in the context of having an immersive home console Pokemon experience. Do you guys think that this is important? And can you think of any 3D games you played with a fixed camera that didn't suffer as a result of it? Also, side question: what is the beat that AJ plays in the background of the second half of his videos? It's so cool, and I want to be able to listen to it on its own, but I haven't been able to find info on it. Okay, thank you for this is a really, really, really in-depth question, Kyrie. I would have to I do see where you're coming from as far as the camera perspective, because yeah, you do want to be able to like just have that control, look around, and just take things in, and just feel like I'm immersed in this world, and I'm actually able to experience this more. So I could see how that could be a I'm not gonna say a hindrance, but I could see how that would be worrisome to some. But now, do I feel like it would have any long-term negative results on the game as a whole because of this? No, but I do think that would be that definitely be a spot, like a blemish, as it were. People are gonna point that out. They're gonna be like, this is cameras. People are gonna take issue with that as far as where the critics go, the reviewers are gonna bring that up. If that indeed.
I think I don't think that worry is necessarily something that is something you need to worry about. Really, because there's a lot of different explanations that could come with that. Somebody did come out and say they made that. That could be false.
Someone's always trying to get grab, especially with leaks like that.
Even with that, even assuming that image is real, it's still very possible that you can control the camera. Like, you can't tell if a camera's fixed from a still image, Like, that person just sucks at moving the camera. Or that could just be like a work in progress image where it's like, okay, we're going to put camera control in this, or we're going to change the perspective, work in progress.
Even in certain games where you can control cameras, there are certain segments where you can't. Certain things where where the developers want you to see this from this perspective and this shot, so you can't control it. Which that's it varies at that level. That could just.
And there's some other arguably more crappy explanations where it's like, maybe you can't even control Lapras, right? Like in that segment, maybe that's somebody else's Lapras, and you jump on the Lapras and that moves across the ocean. I doubt that, because there's still obviously surfing is a big part of traversal, and that's a big part of where you battle people. Like, they swim in the ocean and they're like, oh, hey, it's you, and then you battle them in the
right.
But that's another possible explanation. There's a lot of things that you could throw out the wall and be like, maybe it's this, maybe you can zoom in still, with the camera controls and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know if that's necessarily something that we need to worry about. The other stuff in the the Pokemon Go stuff and whatnot. Again, that's another thing that's that can go anywhere. There's one place that we know almost for certain that it won't go, and it's not Pokemon Go. That's the thing that we know for certain, that it's not Pokemon Go, because it can't be. Switch doesn't have GPS. Switch doesn't have 3G. So it can't be Pokemon Go.
Yeah, we
know that much. But we do know that it can take certain cues from Pokemon Go. Maybe that's how we throw Pokeballs now, is with the touchscreen or with motion controls, like I said in the video. Maybe that's how they maybe you can release Pokemon and make your Pokemon stronger or whatever. Taking the cues from that in that sense.
Yeah. Final question for you: what is the beat on the second half of your videos?
I don't know. I'll alternate out my unlike Logan.
This week actually used a different soundtrack, which is somebody commented they were a different music for a Logan video.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was funny. They're like we're in another world. That was funny. I was like I see what you did there. That was great. But
I don't know. I'll alternate. Even I would say the only song that I use, unless you're talking about the last song that I use, I'll use that a lot And like the on camera song, I usually use the same thing because I try to go by vibe. Whereas like the beginning of the video is usually more like tongue in cheek, like I'm more so messing with you than anything.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like in the beginning, like in the camera, like you have like dun, 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 like or something like something like that. Where it's really just like a feel type of thing. Like
it's setting the tone.
Right.
You know, it's a tone piece.
Right.
So it's like the only thing that I have almost always at the end is this song called Salutations. And it's on Epidemic Sound. I don't know if you can find it anywhere else. But other than that, it's like I shift through a lot of different songs for my videos, and I want to add more, but I already have a lot, so I don't know. It's just to the point where it's like, all right, we know all of these already. There's like a good 10 that I like cycle in and out depending on what the video is.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the straight from the YouTuber's mouth. As far as soundtrack and what he uses in his videos. Final comment / question thing. Another Smash Bros. Oh, sorry. I didn't even say the name. Tito Ramon. Tito _ Ramones. Another Smash Bros. Question: how many Joy-Cons will be utterly destroyed by by button smashing, rage quitting, or slipping with sweat before Smash Joy-Cons or Pro Controller gets announced? If it's not already gonna pop up, it's with its full showing at E3. Just a rough estimate.
I don't know what he means by Smash Joy-Cons. Like, you mean like GameCube controller-esque Joy-Cons?
Yeah, I'd assume that's where he was going with it.
I don't know if any. I mean, I guess if you're a child or you're inordinately rough with your things, you can break them while playing with. I don't know too many people who are that rough other than children. Will want to play with the Joy-Con. And Pro Controller, like the Pro Controller is solid. You know, if you break that, then you deserve to break it.
Yeah,
you know, like
and that's another thing, especially when you're playing a game like Smash. You know, button mashing is never, or button smashing rather, is never really been. It's not going to help you execute.
Unless you're a child,
right? It's not going to help you execute your moves better, and that would be something I touched on this. I spoke on this a while ago, but never like. On the internet, as far as like in a public way. But
so did you really speak about it?
So this would be my first time saying this, but
this is your first time ever saying it.
Right, it's my first time ever putting it on. This is my first time hearing.
No, it's the first time it ever left your mouth.
This is
the first time you've ever. This is
shut up. This is the first.
You never said it on the internet.
This is the first. So. Yeah, it's right here. If they ever made a controller where, you know how some people have like competitive controllers where it's like the like there's like buttons underneath and they help you
yeah, like this scuff controller, I think it's called, or the Elite, the Xbox.
If they ever made a controller like that for Smash, I'll be pissed. They're not going to, but I would just like all of a sudden like you have like a button where like instead of like you know you dodge roll, you can like, you know, press the block and then side.
Oh, you're saying like programmable. Right, like I'm programming a button for dodge roll.
That would ruin it. So they better not do anything like that. Like just going into more of your in the direction of your like competitive, you know, and they're like, we're gonna make competitive Smash controllers. I would be pissed. I wouldn't even.
Speaking of that, that's like a whole like if somebody like whoever is the first person to make like. I mean, to his credit, the comment, like people to make like a pro Joy-Con where it's like that's the whole thing. Where, you know, like with the Xbox thing, it comes with all these different parts and stuff like that. If they came out with like this $200 Joy-Con that was basically like a modular Joy-Con, it's like you take it out the controller and you break off parts of it and put it in, like that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, I just would not like that at all. Like they better just stay away from that kind of crap. And, like it's, you know, it's cool to
somebody's going to do it.
Right.
Eventually.
I mean, it's cool to have these things as far as like just like as a cosmetic, like, oh, this looks cool. But if you start playing with the functionality and then giving people leverage, I'll be pissed. It would just ruin it. So no, I do not want to see anything like that. It would be irritating. But
expect that video in 2021 when they inevitably do it.
I'll be so sick. But yeah, I don't know if they're just going on to your the final tail end of your question. I don't think they will have a showing of any controller like that at E3. You know, I mean, they might. They could possibly have like, oh, this is our Smash Joy-Con.
I think that the we might get maybe like, and I hope we do, where it's like the analog triggers for the Joy-Con or whatever. Like we might get something like that.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
I think,
that'd be sweet.
Even though that adds a whole another like weirdness where it divides the player base and stuff like that. So I don't know for sure if they'll do something like that, but I'd be cool with it. Or just a Joy-Con where it's like somehow again modular, where it's like you can make your triggers analog, or you can change out the D-pad, or like change where your analog stick is. Even like Bob has this whole thing where it's like he wants his analog stick to be in the middle of the controller. If you can do that, you know, where it's like you can move where your button placement is and stuff like that. Like the weirdos that like the PlayStation's configuration, they can move their analog to reflect that, you know, like that sort of thing. That would be cool. It probably costs a lot of money.
Exactly, yeah,
but
definitely.
it'd be cool.
Let us know in the comments, do you want Nintendo to start making competitive controllers for games like Smash and Splatoon to ruin the game forever?
Let's all make a petition for them to do it. And petitions only work if it's money. So let's all do a analog petition where we all send Nintendo a handwritten letter with the $20 bill and say, hey Nintendo, we want competitive Smash Bros. Controllers just to piss off Logan, and then include a QR code to our channel and say, for context, here's Logan, subscribe. And then we can make.
I hate you so much. I hate you. Unfortunately, but I don't hate you guys. But unfortunately, that is all the time we.
Unfortunately, I don't hate you guys.
I mean, unfortunately, no, I meant to say unfortunately, that's all the time we have.
Nah, he meant that. He meant with every fiber of his being. He was just telling me off camera or off microphone that he hates every one of you passionately.
Guys, this will be the last time you hear AJ's voice. I'm gonna freaking. I can't say that. I can't say that. I can't say I'm gonna kill you, but I'm gonna hurt this guy. Yeah. So. But yeah, unfortunately that's all the time we have this week, guys. Thank you guys so much for the comments.
Let's see if he remembers the show that we do every week. All right, continue.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for the comments and the subscriptions and all that stuff. All the continuously important. And as always,
nope, you forgot a whole nother thing.
Oh, AJ, what should they do?
No, it's not what should they do. It's
just
don't try to like put me in a box.
If you don't,
sir.
Yeah, what?
Final comment. That's what it is.
It's not
stupid.
It's, what?
It's my final comment.
Your final thoughts.
Yeah, my final thoughts. You idiot.
You're freaking. I hate you. Back to my art. My brilliant.
Oh
my god.
If woodchuck could chuck wood. Where do you use nunchucks?
That was stupid. So that was,
that's the point. It's supposed to be stupid. Have you not been on this show for the past? How many weeks have we been doing this?
True. As always, subscribe.
That's you. You're supposed to do that.
And as always, remember that freaking Star Fox is the best game ever. Star Fox is the best series ever.
As always, don't forget to change your knuckles.
And send us fanatixfour swords so we can be
okay.
Four swords. I don't know. I just have random thoughts.
We almost did that.
That was for you.
We tried to think of a pun for that.
That was for you.
For the channel name. We tried.
Let us know, as always, freaking Zelda spinoff with Zelda as the main character.
As always, the best shooter is the strategy puzzle platformer.
And Super Mario, the 1980s live action, was the best movie ever. Bye, guys.